Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am working on new for you guys. I've had this since 2022 and I quit working on it quite early on, and this was because I don't know if you can tell with the background or not. I like to not read directions very well. So I didn't realize that 11 count fabric would take three strands. So when I started doing the background, I was using 2 strands. So I quit working on it because I made myself angry because I made it very far before I realized what I had done wrong and why it wasn't turning out right. So, I was also making this as a gift, so I just kind of said, screw it. She never knew I was going to do it anyway, and so I quit. I decided to pick it back up and finish it since I finished my last one. And, you know, I just decided that I would leave the entire background as 2 strands, and I would do the picture itself because it's a bee with some flowers on it, and I have no idea how it's going to turn out because, again, it's one of those really cheap Amazon ones, so it might be good or it might be bad. Who knows? And the design isn't even available anymore, so I can't even show you guys what it's supposed to look like. Because I don't have a picture of it because it's been so long. But yeah, so I'm going to do the whole background as 2 strands, and then I'm going to do, this is the bee's wing here. I'm going to do the bee as the 3 strands that it's supposed to be, and it'll give it a little bit of a dimension. And you know, I was sitting there, I really wish they would have chose a different color for the background, because they made it white, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself after I got going, and I mean really going, that the background really wouldn't stand out from like the original like Aida cloth. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is add in my own color, probably black, and do a border around the background when I'm done of the 3 strands or whatever, so that way that's even a different height, the same height as the bee. Just one row around the whole thing, so that way you can see the difference between the Aida cloth and the background. You know, it's a work in progress. I haven't yet figured out what exactly I want to do with it, but I'm thinking that's the route I'm going to go with it. Especially because I have to leave the background as 2 strands because I had made it way too far to back out of it. And so yeah, that's just going to be what it is. And as you can see here, I have this green here. This is the one I'm doing. I have the color parked for the yellow and the color parked for just the red. There's tons of red symbols, but each one is slightly different. So I don't know if you can see, this one's half red, half white. This one here is red with a line. This one is red with a dot. And then they have the plain red. And then they also have the red X's. And some of them, if you can see it, are full X's, and some of them are missing the rest of the line. So And those are two different symbols. So I'm going to have to be careful going through these because, where am I at? There is a lot of things that, a lot of symbols that are very similar and easy to get confused with one another. And especially, I don't even know if you can see the color difference. There's blue, there's purple, and there's pink. So let me see if I can't see the purple with the pink. I think it's down, yep, right here. That's pink, and that's purple. Pink and purple. Like that's the slight color shift. And again, this cross stitching kit was only like $9. So it's one of those things where you get what you pay for, but I didn't realize it was an issue until I started doing it. And now that I put the time and the effort into doing most of it, I'm going to finish it because I cannot not finish. I don't know if anybody else has those problems where they, like, once you start, like, say, something like this, even if it starts looking horrible, you have to finish it to know. I do that with a lot of, like, art projects. I also do that with, like, books. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Gerald's Game by Stephen King. I don't even know how it got made into a movie. But if you're curious, it was one of the worst books I think I've ever read in my life. And I'm an avid reader. I love to read. I can finish, 300 pages in no time. And Gerald's Game was not very long at all. And it took me like 5 months to read it. Because I kept hoping and praying that it would get better. And it never did. It never, like, at that point, and I guess it's maybe I'm just so nosy I have to know if it gets good. But I should have not finished it right then and there and just counted it as a loss. But I couldn't do it. I kept picking it back up, and not because it was good. It was because it was like watching a train wreck to where you want to look away, but you couldn't. You just couldn't. And at the point that I realized that the book was not going to get any better, I didn't have much left to go, so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to finish it because I can't not finish it now. I'm so close. I'm so close to being done with it that I can't not finish it. Got a knot going on in the back. Hold on. But that's just the kind of person that I am. So, like, I look at this and I go, I don't know if it's going to look good. And now that I know kind of what to look out for in the kits and stuff, because I do have a nice one now. I have a nicer one now. I'm like, wow, I don't know if this one's going to even turn out decently. And that is because there is a lot of, like, confetti throughout here. But if you go to the middle, this is a B, by the way, and I did end up getting it wet at one point or another. All of this is, let me see, 13. This color. It's like a navy blue, but it's all of this. And he's supposed to be like a cute little bumblebee. Hold on. Probably not going to be able to see that. But it's a bumblebee with flowers on it. And needless to say, I don't know how well it's going to turn out. Because it's not an expensive kit. And it seems to me like there would be more variation throughout the body, and there's not. So we will see how this turns out together. And like I said, I will work on the background just in my own time because it's just white. It's all solid. It's a solid white. And I don't think you guys want to sit there and watch me stitch solid white. I will also probably do this number 13 by myself. And then this, they did give me this. And it's, I mean, there's my hand for reference. It's tiny. So I will do that one block where I screwed it up here off of this. And I won't make you guys sit through that because I am actually really bad with trying to count and stuff, which is why I tend to do the stamped cross stitches because the colors are there for me. But again, I just kind of threw this one off to the side after I realized I had screwed it up. I came across the one and then I came across this one and now I need to finish it. The need is there. Whether that will be soon, I don't know. But at some point I will complete this thing. And it's just to see what it'll look like. Because, I mean, I will, even if it turns out like crap, I'm still gonna, it's for my sister-in-law. Even if it turns out like crap, she knows how much work goes into these because she's seen me do them. And I'm sure she'll at least like, because I'll put it in a frame for her. She might not hang it on her wall, but she'll put it in like her office or something and call it good. And that's just because she's sweet on me. But yeah, I'm hoping that it turns out better than what I'm thinking it's gonna turn out. And that's literally just because looking at it, you know, I don't know what I was thinking when I bought it. So it's just is what it is for now. And hopefully it turns out good. And if it doesn't, then, I mean, again, it's just time wasted. Not so much like a whole lot of money or anything like that. Just a lot of time. And the scary film one that I did, I actually really liked that one from the standpoint of, number one, I didn't pay a whole lot for it, which was a win. But number two, from a far off distance, it looks pretty good. It's when you get up close that you start to notice like the flaws and stuff with it, which obviously that's a lot of these because you're supposed to see the bigger picture from further away. But the color choices that they made in that one was not very good. So, but I mean, from a far off distance, you can tell who they are, and that's all that matters. And then I will be doing this one basically in tandem with the one that I'm doing for my husband, which is a counted cross stitch. I don't know if you guys will see that one until it's like all the way done. And that's because, again, I'm really bad at trying to like talk to you and count at the same time. And I can tell how slow I go on my own when I'm just sitting there doing just that. So I can't imagine trying to, and maybe once I get a little bit more comfortable with it, but I can't imagine trying to do that, talk to you, and not make a mistake. And especially because it's on 18 count, so it's quite small for me to be doing in hand. But again, that's how I like to do these. So, I don't know. It's just, you guys might see it when it's done. And then I do have another 11 count. I thought it was supposed to be stamped, but it is not stamped. It is counted. It's a bear in a tree with flowers. So that one, because it's an 11 count, I might attempt to do that one on camera. But otherwise, you guys are going to be seeing just this one. And I will be doing the bigger chunks of color on my own. So that way you don't have to watch me stitch just one color. You can watch me fill in all the pretty colors and that kind of stuff. And if you notice, you know how I said my daughter got poison ivy? So I was building a duck pen with my husband to move the ducks out of the chicken coop so that way they could have a nice pond and all this fun stuff. So my daughter ended up getting into the poison ivy at my in-laws' house off their back property. And I ended up getting it. It's just on my hands, thank goodness. I mean, it's driving me nuts, but it is what it is. But I was outside cleaning up the area for the ducks and stuck my hands in it. So, I mean, at least it's just my hands. But hers is all cleared up, and now I just gotta... She ended up getting a steroid and stuff for it, but I have to live with it because they don't really care if it's on your hands unless it's getting infected, which... Obviously, the blisters just showed up yesterday, so, and as long as you're not scratching it open, there ain't a problem there, and, you know, I can leave it alone, maybe, but we ended up getting, I went and bought the plants for our garden today. And I did plant some seeds outside. And those ones were a bunch of different kinds of lettuce. Because my sister and my mother tend to plant like the zucchini and that kind of stuff. Well, they never really plant lettuce. My mom did one year. She said, "Oh, it tastes funny." So she never did that again, you know. But I planted I think it's 7 different varieties of lettuce this year. And so I told everybody, I was like, y'all getting sent home with lettuce once every 2 weeks because you can cut it as long as it's the proper weather. You can cut it down once every 2 weeks and have, you know, a salad or whatever. Well, I planted almost a whole, it would be a 6x12 garden bed full of them, full of the different kinds of lettuce. So I have a bunch of lettuce planted, and then today I planted Brussels sprouts, tomatoes, the little cherry tomatoes, cabbage, and some strawberries. So hopefully all of that stuff does well. This is the first year that we've done that in the garden. We usually have 1 or 2 tomato plants that just sit on in the pots or whatever. We have really big pots up near the house, so that way the animals and stuff don't get it. But this is the first year that we've actually done a full-on garden. So hopefully the stuff does well. Who knows? I might have a green thumb, maybe. Tomato plants are hard to kill, but I feel like everything else is up in the air. The tomatoes might be the only thing that make it. Who knows? Hopefully not, but you know, it would be nice if we had more than just tomatoes. Maybe some lettuce. And I've never tried growing Brussels sprouts or cabbage. I tried strawberries one year and they did awful. So let's hope this year's better than I think I tried it 2 years ago. So hopefully this year's better. I ended up getting a different species of strawberry, and hopefully that helps, because there's one that you can do all year, like the harvest is all year, and then there's another one that's just like June and July, and that's the one I tried this year, is the one that is just going to be harvested next month and the month after. And hopefully they do better than having to harvest them all year round. Who knows? My husband said that they're easier, but who knows in actuality. It's probably just I'm not giving them enough water, or I'm giving them too much water because I'm nervous about them not getting enough water. I'm just drowning the plants. But hopefully it does semi-decently this year. And then if not, you know what? I got my sister's garden to fall back on. And my sister-in-law's garden to fall back on as well. She grows her own corn and makes her own salsa on it. So she has all the tomatoes, the peppers, the jalapenos, the onions. So, you know, I feel like if mine doesn't grow, I still have somebody's backup. And even my mom decided to plant some, I think she did regular tomatoes. So let's hope somebody's garden does well and takes off. Because I don't know if mine will. But I'm definitely going to try. Oh, and I was also thinking that one of these days I would cross stitch outside. Well, I do that all the time, but like film it outside. And you guys will have to let me know if that's something that you would like to see. I must warn you, I have chickens, I have ducks, they are loud. So, I mean, I would be talking through some of it. But mostly I think it would be nice to like start a campfire, sit outside, do this when it's not overly windy. Like today is just so windy because I was planning on it today. And then after I got done planting the garden and I was sitting outside and the wind was just whipping. So, but on a nice calm day, I feel like it would be nice just to sit outside, film this, chit-chat a little bit with you guys, but listen to the chickens, the ducks, maybe even a campfire if I can have one, as long as there's not like a burn ban or anything. So that way we can hang out outside instead of being stuck indoors. Because even if I get, say, 40 minutes on this, I was hoping that I'd get, like, more than just the green done, but I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'll do this little patch of green, and then I'll park it, and then I will grab the plain red, maybe. There's less of the brown, but I find going with, like, the lower strand is easier than trying to fight the floss that's higher up. Like, if I was trying to use this one would be in the way. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. If that's something that you'd want to try out, is going outside, listening to what's going on out in my yard. I'd have my dogs out there with me. They don't really make too much noise, but They do, the one does bark a little. But it would mostly just be my roosters crowing, my chickens making noise, possibly my ducks quacking in the background. Maybe a crackling campfire. Because I do love me a campfire while I'm sitting here doing this kind of stuff. So, let me know if that's something you'd like. Because I definitely can make it happen on the next non-windy day. Even if it's further down the line. Come on. There we go. I don't really like using sharp needles because it goes through the fabric not in the holes really easily. So I feel like I have to be a little more cautious about where my needle is coming up and through the fabric. Whereas like when I use the blunt ones, which this one came out of my daughter's cross stitch kit. And I took it because she's younger. But she got poking herself with it. So I gave her my blunt needle, and I took her sharper one. So, but now I'm starting to see why I went and bought myself blunt needles, because I don't really like the sharper ones when I'm doing this. But she is working on a tiger, and I should have read the size of it before I ordered it. I told her it was going to be big, but I thought it would be more like these size instead of, you know, this ginormous thing that I ended up getting her. So I've been helping her out a little bit too, just getting like a lot of like the confetti areas done. So she's been doing more of like the solid parts, and I've been trying, because I've been trying to get the background on this one done, and then like I said, the counted cross stitch, the deer one, I've been trying to get some done on that as well. So it's just kind of, hers is, it's on my radar, but it's something like and when she sees me doing it, she decides, oh, I want to do it. You know, it's never, I want to do it before you're doing it kind of thing. Where am I going here? I think it's something that, I don't want to say she forgets about, but she's good without doing it. And then she sees me doing it and she's like, oh man, I should do some of that. And this one is just the red. So there shouldn't be too many of these. And I also like these blunt needles that I bought. They're a lot smaller, shorter. Like if you look at the size difference, this is the one that came in her kit, and that's the one that I bought. So it's quite a bit shorter, and it's blunt. So even if I stick myself, I have to stick myself pretty darn hard to hurt myself. That, and I feel like they go through the holes easier. Like I can actually feel around in the back with the needle and not have it just stick through the Aida cloth randomly. So I feel like I've gotten a little bit done. Coming up on like, I don't know, maybe a half hour. I'm not very fast. But it's not a race now, is it? And usually when I'm doing these, I'm like watching TV, or I'm watching I do watch, I believe it's Gemma Stitches. I watch Lovecraft Forever. I watch her stitching videos. And I recently started watching, I think her name's Callie Jenny. And that's because she's doing a stitch along with Lovecraft Forever. She was actually the second one I started following. I started following Gemma first. And I got some really good insight on how to do these. And it's crazy because I felt proud of myself for finishing the 16,200 stitches on my Scary Films one. And she's over here completing things that are like, I think the one she's working on that she recently just started was like 200,000 stitches. I'm like, I don't even want to pretend to do that many. But who knows? Maybe one day I will want to attempt something that big. As of now, no. It's too big. It's too much. Too much pressure. I would like to do something bigger, and I do, like I said, I do have other ones, and the bear one is bigger than this one and the scary movies. So I do, if I complete that one, then I may try a bigger one. Not like 200,000 stitches big, but something bigger. I like the Epic Pokemon. And like I said, I had bought everything and stuff for it. But the kitting is terrible for it. So I might just start it and kit as I go. I need a color, find it. Oh no. Okay. Find it. And then, put them on the little plasticky doojobs, the bobbins, and do it that way. Mostly because I hate sitting there winding the bobbins. So I feel like that's really what's stopping me from starting it. It's not even like how big it is. I actually have the Aida cloth all counted out. I don't have it all gridded, but it's all counted to where I have like the outside edge, the outside top, and then the bottom or the side. So that way I know how big it is. And I haven't started it because I was like, man, I need to finish all these bobbins, and even my kids were helping me, and it's still not done. I don't know if I'm just overly slow at it or if I'm just not very good at it. Either way, I think I might just kit it out as I go. Might make it a little bit easier for myself. Either that or it'll make it extremely hard. I mean, either way, I feel like it'll be a struggle for me to do if it's kitted out or if it's not, because it is, at that point, it would be the biggest one that I've ever attempted. So if I can stick with this, because I am a hobby hopper, I tend not to stick with a hobby for very long. I go gung-ho in it for, a little bit, and then tend to switch out completely. And then it'll sit there until I come back around to it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I actually had started the Pokemon one, like kitting it out and stuff, like last year. So it's roped back around now to where I'm like, yeah, I could do it. Because, I felt accomplished finishing the Scary Movie one that I found motivation to attempt this B one. It's slightly bigger. I think this one's 16,308 stitches. So literally just slightly bigger. But if I finish this one and then finish the bear one, because the bear one, I could just get progressively bigger, I guess. So do this one, then the bear one, and then the Pokemon one, and then call it good. You know, one of those things. Who knows where I'm going to end up? Because I don't. I could find boredom in this and then end up painting next week. But what I find that I like about doing these is I can do this while watching TV. I don't have to bring out a whole bunch of stuff for it. It's something that I can pop onto my lap like this and just stitch until I don't feel like it anymore. I brought the Scary Movie one in the car, and I would do it, you know, while I wait for the kids to get out of school, because obviously you can't show up. Oop, sorry about that. You can't show up right on time or anything. So I would sit there for like 5-10 minutes because I like to have a parking spot. And I just sit there and stitch. So now I started doing that with this one. So I think it's just like the ease of being able to bring this with me, whereas with painting and stuff, you're kind of stuck to an area, or like if I was to bring it down from the room, like I consider it my art room, but it's not really. If I bring it down from there, I have to bring everything down with it. I have to bring the canvas, the paints, the water, you know, or the reference, everything. I have to bring everything downstairs. Whereas with this, it's just you open up a bag. The bag has everything in it because I put it into just like a Ziploc bag. You grab your color and then you can just go until you're done. So it's, I don't know, it's relaxing that I can just do not really much to have it, you know, sit in my lap and just do it. Whereas there's other hobbies, like, I think that's why I like reading, but I also like to be able to watch a series, and obviously, like, if I'm reading, I can't do both. Oh, sorry, I had an itch. I can't do both, so it's kind of, I don't know, this is like the best of both worlds where there's not much that goes into it. I can listen, I usually listen to YouTube videos and stuff when I'm not filming while I'm doing it. Or I can bring it in the car and just, you know, stitch for 10 minutes, put it down and be good. Whereas, like, it takes me, like, 30 minutes just to get everything out for painting or for coloring or whatever. So it's, I don't know, it's nice just to be able to open it up and start going, especially if you take the time to park multiple threads like I did with this one, where I parked, you know, I parked 3 before I started the camera. Not like I thought I'd get through 3, but just to have the options there. And when you run out of color, you just pick up and start going with the next one. Or when you get bored of stitching with one color, put it down, pick up the next one, and then you just go. So I don't know. I don't know why I ever stopped doing these, because it seems to me like I enjoy them enough. And even like crocheting, I kind of have to, because I like to do like the tapestry crochet, but I do the tapestry crochet in big enough blocks that it's they're blankets. Even that I got to pay attention to. This, it doesn't take much brain power to do a stamped one. The counted ones, I'm not going to lie, take a lot more brain power for me than probably is necessary, or it should take, but I do enjoy those too. I guess I just like to zone out while I'm doing these, and the stamped ones like this give me the option to do that, and to I don't know, do more than one thing at once. I got that constant brain stimulation. I got relaxation on the brain on this side, and then stimulation on the other side with whatever's playing or going on in the background. I think after a while of having kids, you're just used to having the constant stimulation, whether you like it or not. And I guess at least this is like stimulating my brain more than TV would, or like, you know, doom scrolling. I've really cut back on that too. So I used to be attached to my phone, and I'm not so much anymore. I found myself, even when I was like crocheting, my mind would just start to wander, be like, oh, I wonder what's going on this. This, not so much. And I think it's just because it doesn't take a lot of brain power, and it's nice to shut your brain off every once in a while. I'm coming up on another 20 minutes. I think my camera cuts off at like the 23-minute mark. Just stops filming altogether, which kind of sucks, because if like I'm not paying attention, it just shuts off. And then what draws my attention isn't the filming stopping, it's when the camera turns off due to inactivity. And usually it's more than a couple of stitches. Or like I'll be painting and I can't get into a flow state because I'm constantly like, oh, is the camera still on? Is the camera still on? At least with this, I can kind of face the camera toward me, and I can kind of watch the time while I talk to you guys. So that way I know when it's going to cut off, or whereabouts it's going to cut off. And that way I can stop talking and shut it off and turn it back on myself. Come on. It's getting twisted around itself. I just gotta untwist it so that way I can pull some more. There we go. But yeah, so I think we got pretty far. Especially, you know, stitching in hand I think is slower than stitching on like a stand or whatever. So I'll finish this stitch and then we will call it good for today. And then the next time we come back, hopefully, because I will work on the background and like the bigger patches of color. Hopefully I have more of that done than what I had this time. So we'll park it right there. So that's the area we got done today. It's just this part of the wing. And you know, I'm sitting here staring at it. I don't know if you guys can tell a difference, but one is literally like just slightly green and the other one's slightly yellow. But when you're looking at it here, you can't really tell. And then you got this really, really dark color up here. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, hopefully it's a decent-ish looking pattern. And then for the background, all I have left is this smaller patch and then those two. And the background will be done. So, all right, well, I will catch you guys next time. Bye.